This video, I'm going to be sharing with you why manifestation is speeding up and what you can do about it to make sure that you attract what you want faster than ever. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, we're going to be going more in detail to collective consciousness, understanding the electromagnetic energy that goes around our body and how collectively there is a raise in vibration that is happening even at a subtle level, but that gives you more opportunity to create what you want more quickly than ever. Now, I know this sounds like a little bit more of an esoteric idea than things I normally share on this channel, but it's something I've been thinking about recently, and it's something I've been definitely noticing as well. And maybe you've noticed this too. Does it feel like things in your life, whether they're positive or negative, things that you're in your life that you're thinking about, that you're either excited about or worried about, does it feel like they are happening quicker? That the lag time is much less than it used to be maybe 5 or 10 years ago? Now, me, for example, I can feel this in the sense that maybe I was thinking maybe it's just me because I'm doing my passion, I'm doing what I love now, so things are naturally speeding up for me, and that could be part of the reason. But in a collective type sense, what I'm really coming to understand is that there is a collective type energy that we're all connected to. This is where a lot of times social conditioning comes out of. I'll explain more of this in the video, but the idea is that there's more of a raise in consciousness happening on the planet than ever before. And I'm not saying that everyone's going to become enlightened or anything like that, but what I am saying is that what's happening is that there's certain bubbles, there's certain ways that people are raising their consciousness that's affecting the whole rest of the planet, even at a very subtle level, but it is opening up the opportunities for things to happen more quickly than ever. Now, think about this in the form of energy. Now, when you're in a certain energy state, maybe you're feeling really good, things happen in a much better way. But if you're in a negative state, and maybe you're even thinking about what you want to create in your life, you may feel the lag there. You may feel that you are resisting things, so therefore, even though you're focusing a lot on something, things don't happen. Well, in general, what's happening is the state of being that is available for people to feel, it's starting to raise. So this has a couple different key things that are happening though. Because the vibration is raising on the planet, and I believe that this on the planet is a time of awakening, I believe that at a deeper level, we are spiritual beings having temporary human experiences, and that we wanted to be a part of this remembrance of who we are, this remembrance that we create our own reality, this remembrance that we can wake up and realize that we are so much more than we priorly thought that we were. And many times when this higher vibrational state starts to happen, when it starts to raise, even at subtle levels, but we can start to feel it, sometimes that brings up stuff that we don't necessarily want to experience. Sometimes that brings up stuff from the past that maybe you have to deal with. And maybe it doesn't feel good, but maybe in the bringing up of it, you let it go so that then you can create from a much higher paradigm. Now that's something I've been talking a lot recently about, is understanding how we can transform our level of consciousness and how when we create from a higher level paradigm, things happen more easily than ever. This is because we become aware of how we feel and how we can align our feeling to who we prefer to be. And how when we do that, we start to create from a much easier place, and it's more about flowing, it's more authentic to be creating it from that paradigm. So the point of what I'm saying right now is that sometimes you might say, well, yeah, things may be feeling like they're speeding up, but I'm still having negative experiences in my life. It's okay. That may just be you clearing away some things that were deeply rooted inside of you. Maybe they're beliefs about who you are, not feeling worthy enough. Maybe there are things that have happened in your past, maybe in even childhood, and things that you just kind of had to deal with. And then as you let that go, you start to raise the vibration of your body and you start to create from a higher level paradigm. Now, I've explained this idea before, but think of it like there is a electromagnetic energy that goes all around my body. And everybody has this. The idea is that our body, you might just be able to see my hands right here, but there's actually energy that comes far outside of it, just like it does for you. And what happens is that is electromagnetic energy. There's a toroidal field that goes around our body, and that based on our vibration, based on how we feel, based on the thoughts that we're having, that makes up the electromagnetic energy of our body. Now, in general, there is a somewhat of a lag. So there's momentum of thought. So when you're thinking something continuously, you add momentum to you experiencing it in your life, because you're adding momentum to literally the toroidal field, the thoughts that you're thinking and the feelings that you're having. And that will stay in your toroidal field for maybe 20, 30, 40 days. It just develops momentum. You can switch it as well, but it in general will stay there for a while. And that's why sometimes you have to really hold the frame when you're shifting momentum and you're thinking about something positive versus something that was negative. So there's this toroidal field around my body, and in the same way, there's a toroidal field around your body that's accumulated of how you feel, your vibration, what you're focused on, and all those different characteristics. Now that in a way, you choosing those states of being, either consciously or unconsciously, you then go out into the world and you resonate with certain experiences that are happening that reflect back to you either what you believe to be true or your current state of being. So in the same way that we each have our own bodies, there is also a collective connection. We are all connected. We are all part of a larger consciousness in our lives. And because of that, we can think of the planet itself as having its own toroidal field around, of having its own electromagnetic energy around. And based on the collective consciousness, based on how we're all thinking collectively, that is determining the collective events that happen. That is determining things that happen at a deeper, grander sense. And the interesting thing is that collective, that global type toroidal field, the electromagnetic energy, is speeding up. Even if it's just slightly at first, it nonetheless is speeding up. That's what is causing awakenings within people. That is what's causing these manifestations to happen more quickly than ever, because as that speeds up, guess what? Then we can also resonate our energy with that and speed up as well. So this can create so much change in your life if you start to align with it and you start to be aware of it. You know, there are more people waking up to either having spiritual awakenings or realizing that they create their own reality than ever before. I believe that's the one reason that this type of information, like channels like mine and other channels that are similar, are growing so quickly, because there is so much of a demand for this type of information. So what that means is that you have the ability to really change your life in a powerful way and to start to create from this higher level paradigm, because whatever you think is going to speed up towards you. So what does this mean? This means that there's one thing that you can really start to gain control of. And this is how you respond to the outer circumstances in your life. This is realizing that the true degree of power is more so realizing that you can choose your state of being and how you respond to external events in your life. Now, at a deeper level, everything on the outside is a reflection of the inside. But what you can do is when you choose your own state of being, regardless of if something negative happens, you start to prime yourself so that in your electromagnetic energy around your body, you start to let go of that state of being. And then what happens is it might play itself out for a while, but eventually it will go away. And eventually you can start to be who you prefer to be. Eventually you can start to get a new reflection in your life. So this is about that awareness of how you can really tap into who you are. Now, another part of this is understanding that when you raise your vibrational set point, you start to create from a higher point of view. I used to feel like a majority of the time that on a scale of 1 to 10, I was at a 3 to a 5. And 10 feeling the best, 1 feeling not so great. And I learned meditation, I learned how to raise my vibration, and it jumped my natural set point up to about a 7. Now, it fluctuates, of course, but in general, that's my natural set point now. It's about a 7 or an 8. And what I'm now realizing is actually it goes beyond that 1 to 10 scale that I have in my mind. There's more to that. It's a different level of consciousness. But nonetheless, when you raise your vibrational set point, you create from a higher paradigm and things happen easier than ever. That's what's happening in the collective consciousness. It's starting to raise just so slightly, but that gives you the opportunity to raise with it. Now, I've also created a free guided meditation that will help you to raise your vibrational set point so that you create things in your life more easily than ever, and so that you really increase your state of being so that you feel the way that you prefer to feel. That's something you can download at the top of the description box below, and it will help you to do that. So remember that in general, there is an electromagnetic energy that goes around your body, that based on the thoughts that you're having for about the last 30 days, that momentum is going around. There's a toroidal field, and based on your state of being, that is what's attracting to you certain specific scenarios. Now, in general, as your vibration speeds up, so does your manifestation. So does this higher level paradigm bring more things to you. And because the collective is waking up at just such a subtle level, but nonetheless it is happening, more and more people are realizing that they create their own reality. That's speeding up the vibration, the electromagnetic energy field that's going around the planet, that's allowing you to then tap more into that energy to create what you want more easily than ever. So this is something that I think that if you start to apply, you start to realize the one thing that you always have control over is how you respond to situations. You then choose your state of being, and then from that point of view, you create what you want, not what you don't want. You start to focus and you start to really tailor your focus in a completely new way. Focus is what you feel. Whatever you focus on, you feel. Pay attention to that, and you'll start to change your life in a very powerful way. So another thing I'm going to be doing is more live Q&As on Instagram. So if you want to interact with me and if you want your questions answered, go ahead and follow me. I'll go ahead and leave the link in the top of the description box below. And yeah, other than that, as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you guys liked it, subscribe if you haven't already. Also, hit that little notification gear so that you can see the daily vids that I do. And other than that, as always, peace, much love.